Hi guys, welcome to our video. So in this video, our group will be present about meter in poetry. So before we start our material, I will introduce the member of group 2. First, we have Maria Stefanina Tokan, second, Mita Novantibana, third, Octavia Sartika, fourth, Yanuria Marsalina Kapitan, and the last, Yuvinta Batseba Moi. So, what is meter in poetry?
Definition: meter is the study of meter or the arrangement of beats and how many there is known as prosody. It is also called a foot. Each foot has a certain number of syllables in it, usually 2 or 3 syllables. The difference in types of meter is which syllables are accent or stress and which are not.
So, we move to the types of meter.
Iam meter. Iam meter has the first syllable unaccent and the sound accent, so it sounds like do. Here are examples of iam meter. The first: shall I compare they two, a some March day, William Parker signed 18. And the last one, the time of year, the mouse in me, behold, William Parker sonnet 73. Throws meter. Throws meter has the first syllable accent and the second unaccent, so it sounds like do, do. Here are examples of throws meter. The first one, tell me, not in, mournful, numbers, by day, souls of, get he, gum me, and the last one, by day, signing, big V, water, Henry Hartward Langslow, Song of Hiawatha. Dactyl meter. Dactyl meter has the first syllable accent and the second and the third unaccent, so it sounds like do, do, do. Here are examples of dactyl meter. Canon 2 or right of them, canon 2 or left of them, canon 2 from of them, Folly and the Thunder, Alfred Lord Tennyson's The Chance of the Light Breathe Great.
Anapes meter. Anapes meter has the first two syllables unaccented and the third syllable accented, so it sounds like do, do, do. Here are examples of Anapes meter. And the scene of their spurs was like stars on the sea, Lord burns the destruction of Sennacherib. Speedometer. Speedometer follows the two-syllable rhyming pattern, but that are stressed to sound like do, do. Here are examples of speedometer. Break, break, break. On the cold grey stands of sea. Alfred Lord Tennyson. Break, break, break. Pyrrhic meter. While not a modern meter type, Pyrrhic meter was used in Greek poetry and is two unstressed meters that sound like do, do. Here are a few examples of Pyrrhic meter. Chew a green toe in a green show and marvels the garden. My way is to begin with the beginning, Lord Byron Don Juan. When the blood creeps and the never break, Alfred Lord Tennyson is memoriam. Saint Birkmir's greatest monotony is typically used in parts of poetry rather than the entire poem.
Amphibrach meter. An amphibrach is a form of meter. It occurs when the poet places one accented syllable or stressed syllable between two unstressed or unaccented syllables. For example, The Old Oaken Bucket by Samuel Woodworth. The Old Oaken Bucket is a narrative poem written during the Victorian period. This piece is one of many examples of poetry that includes amphibrach in lines of verse. Consider this excerpt from the first stanza. How dear to my heart are the scenes of my childhood. When fond recollection presents them to view. The orchard, the meadow, the deep tangled wildwood, and every loved spot which my infancy knew, the wide spreading pond and the mill which stood by it. The first line is a particularly good example. The phrases, how dear to my heart are the scenes of and my childhood, are all amphibrach. This is an interesting example as it clearly conveys the rhythm. The readers should move steadily through the lines of verse, hearing the story as it plays out. So here's the most common number of feet found in lines of poetry. The first is monometer or 1 foot. The second is dimeter or 2 feet. The third is trimeter or 3 feet. The fourth is tetrameter or 4 feet. The fifth is pentameter or 5 feet. And the last is hexameter or 6 feet. There is 3 main types of poetry. The first is formal verse, is poetry that has both a strict meter and rhyme scheme. And the second is blank verse, is poetry that has a strict meter but doesn't have a rhyme scheme. And last is free verse, is poetry that has neither any strict meter or rhyme scheme.
Example. The example below show diverse uses of meter in poetry. Some of these poems have a meter and follow it strongly, while others have a meter but divide from it by making use of metric variation in particular lines. Some of these poems make use of metrical feet but don't others to an averaging meter. And still others are read in free phrase but make use of meter just to an emphasis and musical effect creating pitch. In each example, we have highlighting the stressed syllables in red and the understressed syllables in the green. Meter in Radke's The Waking. Theodore Radke's well-known poem The Waking from 1953 is a village in iambic pentameter. It is a good example of the string use of meter as every foot is an iamb. This poem is also a good example of modern poet using traditional meter. Note that this poem also follows a rhyme scheme in which the first 3 and 14 lines all rhyme,
The excerpt below is a single stanza from the longer poem. This seeking keeps me steady. I shall know what falls away is always, and I near wake to sleep and take my waking slow. I learn by going where I have to go.
Now we move in Q&A session. Now determine what kind of poetry is this. Put a red mark on stressed syllables and put a green mark on unstressed syllables. You can read this poetry by Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. After you read it, and please put a red mark on stressed syllables and put a green mark on unstressed syllables. So the answer for number 1 is, if I profane with my unworthy hand this holy siren, the gentle fine is this, my lips to blushing pilgrims ready stand, to smooth that woe touch with a tender kiss. So the second question is still the same instruction. The title is Hope is the Thing with Feathers. So you can read it and you can put a red mark on stressed syllable and put a green mark on unstressed syllables. The answer for number 2 is, I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asks a crumb of me. So that's all from our group. Thank you very much for your great attention. Thank you for your listening. May all those we have shared be beneficial for all of us. Thank you so much and see you on the next video. Bye.